on to the Division 2 results. I suppose we have to start with the Cork win away to Kildare, as we were saying there. I mean, it was a mad game. Like, I think Kildare kicked 1 point, I think, in the first half, which was absolutely bizarre considering that they're at home in Newbridge. I mean, in their own backyard. We've seen how strong they were at home last year. And considering how poor Cork were against Meath, I mean, no one could have predicted this, really.
Nobody. Jesus, I wouldn't have predicted. I was sitting on your channel, last week. We've no hope against Kildare. Looking at their form, and I looked at their form last year. Kerry couldn't win there, Dublin couldn't win there, Monaghan couldn't win there. So I was thinking, how on earth are this Cork team going to win when we look so defensively disorganised last week against Meath? But, geez, I wasn't watching the game, so it's a hard one to judge, really, Aaron. But from what I was hearing, Cork had a defensive structure. They were willing to get in Kildare's spaces, which is good to hear. But at the same time, Kildare's lateral passing was very, very poor. And, like, there's questions has to be asked about this Kildare team. Like, I think they've only, I'm checking now, I think 5 different scores in 2 games. That's not good enough, really, when you look at it. Other than Jack Robinson, Jimmy Hyland, Neil Flynn, Darragh Kieran, and Ben McCormick, who's got a single point, Kildare have offered nothing. And it's very difficult to see how they recover. Like, I'd be worried. I know I bang out about Cork and all that, but I'd be worried about Kildare. I looked at their fixtures last night. They've Clare away next in Ennis. They don't have a good record against Clare. After that, they're home to Derry, and then they're away to Louth in Drogheda. That's going to be a hard 3 games now for Kildare. I'd really, really worry for them. Compounded on that, the Leinster Championship draw, they're on the same side as Dublin. They're in serious danger now of dropping down to the Tailteann Cup. Like, it's going to be a big, big few weeks for Glenn Ryan and his players now. You would have thought, like yesterday, it was the time to win a game, especially against a Cork team who were fragile last weekend. But, jeez, it didn't end up that way. And I was looking at the score midway through it. I was like, is my app glitching or what? What's going on? Am I living on a different planet? Because, like, 1-7 to no score inside the first 25 minutes or something. What is going on here? You know, it's no, but geez, so I'd love to hear the comment section now. Well, Kildare actually, I didn't get the chance to speak to Kildare fans now privately, but were Kildare that bad, or were Cork just defensively sound and willing to break or something? I don't know what went on really, but very good win for Cork. Look at the scores. Sherlock scored 4 points this week in the game, 18 points overall, brilliant showing from him. Brian Hurley scored 4 points as well. Yeah, brilliant performance from him. Brian O'Driscoll back on with 3 points as well from number 12. Very good performance. Sean Powter, Colin O'Mahony, who let's not forget was playing 80 minutes of Sigerson Cup on Wednesday, and he comes off the bench and scores 1-1. So pretty good performance from him as well. So yeah, very good performance. And Kildare had the least score out of any team this weekend, 7 points. I don't know, could you blame Kildare for that or credit Cork? But either way, look, I'm happy. 2 points on the board after a disaster last week. And look, no pressure now going into the Dublin game. So look, I'm happy. I'm happy with the result, but I doubt Kildare fans will be very happy after.
Yeah, and Richie Ryan also said here, was Cork very good or Kildare bad? Also says Kildare looks very good against Dublin. Surely just a bad day at the office can't turn into a bad team in a week. And yeah, like, and I think that blends into, you know, how surprised we really were. Like, and I suppose not getting to see any highlights of this game was a little. Well, I suppose we've seen a little bit on Allianz League Sunday, didn't we? But not too much really. Like, and only Kildare fans who were at the game will be able to know what went wrong. But it was very surprising because it was so out of character for Kildare. Like, when you look at how they've performed under Glenn Ryan, I know they got hammered against Dublin in the Leinster final, and that was probably, when you look at Glenn Ryan's tenure, you could probably pick that out as a bad result. But then again, they are coming up against Dublin in Croke Park in a Leinster final. It is a tough game. Aside from that, like, even in the games they've lost, like, they've been fairly consistent. They've battled hard. They've shown spirit. They've fought tooth and nail for the full 70 minutes plus injury time. So the fact that they didn't show any of that in this game, from what I've seen anyway, finishing with a point after the first half, like, it is quite baffling.
It is, yeah. And even, like, I was seeing that League Sunday as well, the post-match interviews as well from Glenn Ryan especially. He was speechless after it. Like, you could see his expression. He couldn't believe what happened. You know, so Geez, it's a huge week for Kildare. They probably just showed, and League Sunday as well, Lee Keegan calling John Cleary Pat. That just summed it up. Like, they didn't know who was playing and things like that. It was,
Yeah, they were getting the presenter's name wrong as well.
oh, they were. Yeah, I see that. Jesus, like, it was a mess all night. I thought it was just me. Like, Jesus, it was very. I would say we do a better job, Aaron. We should be banging on our teacher or go down to Donnybrook and say, like, we're doing it here on Fan TV. We want the job of the Sunday game now because you keep getting the names wrong. So yeah, but yeah, it's yeah, for Kildare, it's it's very bad. I was seeing the comments on Kildare Jay's tweet on Twitter, the full time score, unlucky lads. And loads of them were saying 1 point would be unlucky, 13 points is a disaster, and there was no fight, no pace, no anything. And Kildare fans were very angry after it. Very angry from what I was hearing anyway. So, yeah, I actually heard more from Kildare fans than Cork fans. So I actually don't know, were Cork actually that good or Kildare terrible? I don't know what happened there, but yeah, it's a big win for Cork. Big win. You look at the next few weeks' note. Maybe this is something as well, Aaron, that's kind of top my mind as well. Maybe Cork performed well in a tighter pitch. I know it's something small now, but we performed poorly in Páirc Uí Chaoimh last weekend in a wide pitch against Meath when we were exposed. And against Kildare, we could implement our defensive style and we didn't allow anything. And as well as that, I'm seeing some pictures. I know pictures can't tell anything from a game, really. But I've seen a few of them of Cork players swarming around Kildare players, not allowing them space. So that's a pretty good sign from John Cleary's team. Yeah, very good signs indeed. But yeah, there's a question now: will Cork go for top four, or will we settle for a relegation battle? We'll have to see in the next few weeks. But it's a big win for Cork, huge win. Despite the fact it wasn't showing much at League Sunday, I was quite disappointed over that. But yeah, for Kildare, as I mentioned, the fixtures in the next few weeks, it does not look good for Kildare. And I would have thought they'd finish about fourth or third, especially after last season's exploits in Division 1. Looks pretty bad now, Aaron. And we talked about Galway. The longer it goes on, the more questions are going to be asked. Same applies for Kildare. Like, this is a big few weeks now for Glenroy.
Yeah, Billy says very impressed with Cork this year. James O'Donoghue said there, dark horses. I agree. Cork could be All-Ireland semi-finalists or Munster winners. Cleary and Walsh, good management team. I mean, see, that's the thing with Cork, though, isn't it? Like, there seems to be no in between, and I think I've even said this to you, and even in my predictions video, like, I think I might have even said it wouldn't surprise me if Cork beat Kildare, but lost to Meath. And to be fair to me, they are looking very strong, and we'll get onto them in a moment. Maybe they're a lot better than what we give them credit for, but like, that does seem to be the case with Cork. Like, you even look at that year you beat Kerry in the Munster semi-finals, then lost to Tipperary. Like, it's not out of character for Cork to pull out results when they least expect it, but then in games where we do expect them to win, they seem to fluff their lines. So, like, for me, really, for Cork, it's just about building consistency, because you can see the talent levels. You're not a million miles off All-Ireland semi-finals. I wouldn't say you're at that level yet, but you're not a million miles away.
Yeah, it's a quite interesting one. And I think a few years ago in 2017 kind of epitomised that, and it's still there. Like, 1 week we were beating a Waterford team that has no interest in football by only a single point. And it was embarrassing coming out of that night down in Dungarvan. And then the next few weeks we give Mayo a game, but we should have beat them after extra time. That's Cork in a nutshell. Like, it's just, one good showing, one terrible showing, and yeah, one disastrous showing. Yeah, and I said it in a tweet after the match yesterday. Look, it was a good result for Cork yesterday, but I wouldn't say All-Ireland semi-finals or Munster winner. I wouldn't at all, because what happened last week against Meath, some of the defending was diabolical last week. Let's be real. The goals we conceded were avoidable, like, it seemed to be fixed this week, but the problem is, and then you mentioned it correctly there, on consistency. We need to put up a good performance now against Dublin. I don't think we're going to win against Dublin now in Páirc Uí Chaoimh at all. I think Dublin are still miles ahead of us, but at least show us a performance. Get stuck into them, right from the off, and see where it goes from there. The next game after Dublin, then against Limerick, we have to win that. If we don't win against Limerick, then the work against Kildare will be going down the drain. And funnily enough, I know Limerick are performing terribly in Division 2, and I know Cork performed well yesterday, but there's some part of my mind thinking we could lose to Limerick. You know, it's this kind of a team. You know, so look, I wouldn't be battering down the hatchet just yet. I would not say All Ireland semi-finals, and I will not say promotion or anything like that. Look, it was a win yesterday, but we need to keep our feet on the ground. Go again next time against Dublin. Win the games we should be winning, at least against Clare, against Louth, against Limerick, and see where the Dublin and Derry games take us after that. But look, it was a win yesterday. Next game now. That's all I'm thinking really. Look, I'm not battering down the hatch as I said there. Look, it was a win. We have to move on now.